For this last installment on the first article, part of the creed that Luther explains, I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, we pick up more on a response that Luther picked up on as we consider that God is our creator who takes care of us, preserver, and finally protector. All of this we recognize he does, not because we've earned or deserved it. In fact, why don't I go ahead and read Luther's explanation of this first article, Truth. He says, what does this mean? Well, all of this God does only out of fatherly, divine goodness and mercy, without any merit or worthiness on my part. For all this is my duty, then, to thank and praise, serve and obey him. So God is very much the one who protects as he preserves, creates, and with that, we want to thank him because it's all undeserved. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at that question for our consideration today in a passage that really supports this concept of Luther and what he shared with us, that we are to thank him and we are unworthy, and yet he does this because he loves us. Fatherly love, merciful love. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to ask you, with 1 not at all and 10 very worthy, how deserving are you and I to receive such blessings from God, such as his creating power, his preservation work, and his protective care? How deserving are we as we consider his provisions, protection, not to mention that we are works of his creation? Explain your answer and then consider this scripture from Romans 3:10 through 12. In fact, if you wanted to pause it right now, how deserving are you for all that God the Father does, creates, preserves, and protects? 1 to 10. Now, after you pause here and talk about that, how about this for an answer from the book of Romans, chapter 3, verses 10 through 12? The Apostle Paul reminds us there's no one righteous, not even one. So by nature, right, no one, not one of us, does anything that is good in the eyes of a perfect, holy God. There is no one who seeks God even. The Apostle Paul continues, all have turned away, they have together become worthless. Now, that's as we understand truly what our sinful nature has done to us. So, if we said anything less than a 1 on a scale of how worthy we are, or anything more, I should say, then we really aren't understanding how merciful and compassionate God the Father is when he blesses us, creating, preserving, and protecting. So then why does he give? We're going to explore that later on in the videos ahead. But for now, we'll leave it at that. We should recognize every good and perfect gift comes from God our Father, and not because we've earned or deserved it. By nature, we are absolutely undeserving. But by grace, he gives, because he's our Father and is full of mercy. God's blessings then on your discussion today, and as you meditate and see the world through this truth, that God gives because he's a gracious Father, and not because we are worthy.